self-control. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at CyberPunk 2099 Edgerunners, the anime, the Netflix original that is on Netflix right now, and I do recommend you go watch. It is a really good anime, and I'm going to be talking about it in this video. So if you're interested, well, I mean, you're already interested. You clicked on the video, so let's just dive right in with my first questions. My voice is a little raspy, so please do forgive that in this video. But anyway, Edgerunners, let's go. CyberPunk 2099 is a video game that got its own adaptation into an anime later on. CyberPunk 2099 did have a pretty rocky start as a video game due to all of its bugs and crashes, and it was released too early, basically. And I had a couple of bugs whilst playing it myself. I have a couple of episodes of me playing it on the channel, so I do recommend you go check that out after this video. But Cyberpunk 2099's rose back to the top once this anime came out. And this anime is set in a cyberpunk universe created by Mike Pondsmith. The anime serves as a prequel to the game and takes place about a year before the events of the game. On the edge of cyber psychosis, but determined to save Lucy, David storms into Night City as Arakasa plots to deploy their ultimate lethal weapon. So there we go. There is this whole overarching thing of cyber psychosis, which is a tongue twister to say, might I say, if you say it 3 times fast. Cyber psychosis, I can't say it 1 time fast. Cyber psychosis, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Right, I'm going to give up on that. But anyway, this is a very short series, only taking up 10 episodes, and has a very small cast of characters. But this is an anime that is short and sweet. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got a great animation style, and it just looks so good with the bright neon colors, the cyberpunk city at night with all its purples and blues. We got some really nice greens going on as well in most of the promotional art. All of the main characters fit onto one poster, and it is a good anime. And it did get my emotions going. I did cry at the end, but more on that later. Let's start from the very beginning one last time. So at the start of the anime, we follow this kid, David, who's a pretty poor kid, who's going to this pretty rich people's school. He gets bullied by his classmates because he doesn't have the most updated tech. He does come across this military weapon. It's like a spine, which he attaches onto himself, and it makes him be able to move really quick. And the animation for him moving really quick is right here, and it's so cool. I just like the trail that he leaves behind him, and even U2's did a good job at making that as a figure, and David is my favorite character from this anime. He's just so cool. I have his jacket. I have one of those jackets, and I did make him in Lego, so also check that out after this video. This video is a plug for my other videos. I hope you realize that. But yeah, here's his spine machine, which connects to his entire nervous system, and is what kicks off cyber psychosis. Cyber psychosis is where your body has too much metal in it that the metal starts to take over. You go crazy and start losing your sense of self and starting just killing anything that moves, pretty much. And yeah, that is understandable, yeah. Making yourself too much into a robot, you become a killing machine. But his mum does die in a gang accident, actually. And he does get picked up by Lucy, who tried to steal one of the chips in his head, and then she recruited him because of how good he was at stealing other people's chips, and she took him home, and they went to the moon, or a digital version of the moon, which was in like this 3D VR holosphere that they had, because Lucy is absolutely loaded. He then joins the gang, which is Lucy's gang, and they work for this big name company, which they don't really know. And the gang is pretty cool. We have like 5 major players here getting introduced, with the main 4 being on screen now, and the 5th one being the spiky head's little sister. And then go and do some quests, steal some stuff, and everything starts turning to shit, and they all start getting picked off one by one by one because of either cyber psychosis or just in battle. And it is really sad because it gives enough time for you to get to know and like all of these characters, and then for them to go into cyber psychosis is a real shame, because you do like all these characters, but it is set before the game, so it is understandable. It's not CyberPunk 2099, it's CyberPunk 2077, isn't it? I just realized that. I do apologize. I forget which one it is, and whichever one, I hope I did correct myself just then. But David gets kicked out of the school for beating up this fellow classmate. They do try to accept him back, but he says no, because he's in a gang now. He's all cool. He's big Mr. Hotshot. And once the majority of the main gang, dies, he takes over as leader, and we have some very familiar voice actors joining through with David Pappenbrook, the voice actor for Inosuke Meliodas Kanua. He joins their group, and he only lasts about 10 seconds before he gets himself blown up. And then we have them start tracking down this big mecha suit, which sends David into cyber psychosis, and he takes down Akasa's big weapon. But David gets pretty buff with replacing majority of his past with robotic stuff, and he turns into a pretty much Giga Chad. And he's an absolute legend. And I think he's pretty cool. The leader, before David, was also a really cool guy. I really liked him. He was, again, another big buff guy who was lost to cyberpsychosis, where his lackeys were basically just shot in the head. We have two others, which are two girls, in which creates a love triangle. Lucy likes David, David likes Lucy. And then there's this third girl which likes David but doesn't get her time with David because of Lucy. And there is this image here which is heavily memed, which is where shit gets real and David sort of loses his sense of positivity and decides to go rogue pretty much and do his own thing because of everything that just happened, all the emotional trauma that just kicked off inside him. The animation style is really cool. The colors are so bright and vibrant. The sort of animation studio did so well with the animation, with just David's powers, the blood, the action, the fight scenes, all the bullets going through. Each character design is unique, and you can tell them apart from everyone else in the cyberpunk world, yet they look similar enough that they managed to fit in. It's just such a well-crafted world, and they did quite a bit of world building, if I'm being honest, which I didn't think they would do and try and cut corners. Because the game was already out. People have already played the game. So I thought they'd just try and cut corners in the world building and just leave it to the game. But no, they made this their own thing. They rose the game up out of the ground. They revived the game with this anime because of how good it was. And they added stuff from the anime into the game. Like, you can go get David's jacket, which I do have in the game, and it's my new jacket in the game, and it's the thing I'm going to wear throughout the rest of my series playing the game. But it's just so cool. And it's good to see the decline and the sort of emotion through these sort of characters we know and love and get to know and love. Where David starts off as a happy sort of, new guy to the team, and then he drops because of all the trauma that he's introduced to, and then he goes back up to being a big shot, leading the team, and then he's going into psychosis. And he knows that he's going into psychosis, but he wants to save his friends, and he doesn't mind dying to do that. Because dying for a friend is a hell of a way to go. And he does that. He saves Lucy, he saves his other friends. I think it's just Lucy. I think everyone else dies, if I'm being honest. But Lucy has this cool power to go into basically what you do in the game, where you take a look at things from a sort of past sort of recording. I don't really know how it all works technologically. Again, I live in 2023. I'm not that technologically advanced to know that sort of shit. But the guns and the weapons look really cool. I like this girl's weaponry. It's all sort of pink and blue, brightly coloured. And the guns are huge, but she's really small. It's kind of funny. It's a running joke throughout the thing. But there is a few questionable scenes, which I don't really like. A few sex scenes, and few tatas and eggplants on show, which I don't really like. I don't really like that at all. It's not needed. It's not wanted. It doesn't progress the story in any way. It's just there for fan service, and I don't appreciate it. I'm not interested in that. I normally just skip past it. And I do just skip past it, and what I'm saying, I don't like it at all. So, I hate it. I don't understand why it's here, it's not needed. And then you also get that one pervert character, which I always hate in animes. I don't know why they're in there, but it is a common trope for animes to have the perverted character. And I'm glad that he got killed off early, if I'm being completely honest with you. But the bond that you see grow between Lucy and David is a really nice, good bond. You can see them go from friends to lovers to then dying for one another in this romantic love story. And it did make me cry when David did die in the end. So it had my emotions going. David had this passionate anime speech at the end saying how much he loved Lucy, and dying for a friend is a hell of a way to go, and that he was all right with it. We had all the other characters making funny quips throughout the entire show. The writing was amazing in this, with how the story just progressed. It had a nice flow to it. They didn't hold up on anything for too long. They explained it where it needed to be, and they took the time to craft and explain everything so well that you as an audience understood it, but they didn't spoon feed it to you. You could work some things out on your own, and you actually felt like one of the team, if I'm going to be honest, whilst watching this. And that's what comes from the best type of animes and films and movies and shows. You come out of watching it not thinking about it, not talking about it, but feeling like you were part of the team and feeling like you were part of the movie yourself. And that's what a good movie, show, series is. It's all right just talking about it and thinking about it after it. That doesn't make it an excellent thing. It's feeling like you were part of the group, feeling like you were part of it and went through it all with them. And God damn it, it's such a good anime. And for it to only be 10 episodes, it's an easy watch. You can watch it in a day. I watched it whilst I was at work, doing work, so it's easily done. It's easily done. And, I had to be very careful. I had to keep, pausing it, closing my tab, minimizing it because of, the blood and the gore and everything was quite graphic, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's excellent. I cannot praise this enough. I am going to give it an 8.5, maybe a 9, because of the unnecessary sort of things that are in it. But everything else about it is excellent, so it does deserve a 9. It does deserve a 9. It does drop that 1 point, though, for the things that I mentioned before that I'm not going to mention again. But yeah, that stuff is also in the game, but you have an option to turn that off, and you have an option to not do it all. So I do appreciate that, and that's the option that I went through with the game. It's just, I don't see why they had to put it in the anime as well. But then again, there is some disgusting people out there. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. It's a really good anime. Cannot praise it enough. Definitely go watch it if you're old enough to watch it. And it's on Netflix, so it's easily accessible. It's Netflix, for God's sake. It's $4.99 a month. I think they charge it extra for £8 a month. I could be wrong. I do not know the conversions to the other countries, but other than that, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Bye bye. Hope you all have a nice day, and let me know in the comments below what you thought about CyberPunk Edgerunners. If I should have music in the background of these videos, and just tell me how your day's going. I like talking to you guys. It's nice. All right, bye.